right. Thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So, quick, Mira is my colleague who works with Afri versus Africa. She works with the AML. Oh no, she will introduce herself. Let me leave her to do justice to it. But yeah, you people, if you know that you want it better, just be happy Victoria. Say mutual funds will not pay. Hi Victoria very well so that she's pleased with you.
Ah,
Alright, before we get to our main question, I have some questions for you, just some fun questions.
okay.
You can actually pick from number 1 to number 10.
Okay. No, number one. Let's go with number one.
Thank God you picked number 1. So, Victoria, have you ever experienced Sakpa before? Like, have you ever experienced Sakpa?
Oh
And if
my
yes,
god.
what did you do? If no, what are you doing? I've never experienced Sakpa. Please show us the way.
Hey, God, oh. God, oh. But if we are in this Nigeria together, one way or the other, we must have experienced this. You were once a student, or
No,
something,
okay,
something.
let's just say as a student. Let's just say since you started working, yes, with Africa. Have you ever experienced Sakpa?
Okay, yes, I have.
Great, good, good. If you have not, I'll just have decided to just bow, at the touch the hem of your garment and be like, "Chappy, show me the way," because how haven't you experienced?
Oh God, Lord have all together.
All right. So, how did you handle that? How did you handle the Sakpa period?
Well, honestly, I think for me at that point, it was just because I had like a lot of things going on. I decided to be more proactive with things. I decided to list things out. What should I be doing now? What should I not be doing now? So I don't have to put on too much on myself and then just go broke, right? So that way, having to really spell out things, I was able to focus on important things and leave other things. So I could still keep small amount of money for myself, right? And afterwards, after I was able to finish some projects and things like that, money started coming in, one way or the other, and I was able to now do those other things that I couldn't do before. You get, so just having to prioritize things and set things out, set all those things straight. It was very, very helpful for me during that period. So yeah, I think it was one thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So in one simple sentence, you budgeted, like you learned to do budgeting properly.
Exactly. Put important things first and just leave the rest for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. You guys have heard, though, budget is like that tool to avoiding Sakpa. As we time, she had to. You guys know she had to think to ask herself, have I ever experienced Sakpa before? Some of us, before you even say this, sir, we will know that we've experienced it because Spa is already coming. Before you say this, sir, we already have to Sakpa. You don't have to think, but it's great. So, guys, budgeting works, and budgeting is great for you. So, one more question before we begin. Pick another number.
Okay, let's go number 5.
I really, 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 really just like that you are picking the questions that I pray that you pick.
Hey, God, yes.
So now the fifth question is at what point in your life did you actually start creating wealth? Like, did you decide that, okay, you see this investment, you see this thing of creating and managing wealth, like at what point did you gain so much interest and then decide to actually start doing it? And then again, do you mind telling us the amount you started with? Because many people believe that they probably need to earn billions or they probably need like 100,000 before they actually start building wealth. But many do not know or don't come to the realization that your 5K today can go a long way if you just leave it. That it's mostly about compound interest. So do you mind sharing that with us? At what point did you start creating wealth, becoming conscious of creating wealth, and the amount you actually started with the very first time you took the step to creating wealth?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that question. The funny thing is I actually studied economics in school. So maybe that was what helped me.
Brilliant people.
That was one thing that actually helped me with, having this whole wealth creation mindset, right? So officially, it started in my second year in school. And that was when I really started with mutual funds. Because normally they give us money, take home money, go to school money, all of that. You just have money lying here and there in the bank. Nothing was really happening. End of the month, bank comes with debits. There was just a lot of things going on. And during that point, some people came to school and they talked about mutual funds, and I was really interested, right? And when they said you can start with as low as 5K, at that point I was like, 5,000, come on, it's something I could do. So that was the first amount I put in, and it took a while before I put in the next 5,000. But for me, it was, I'm not going to take this money out anytime soon. I just want to have something to my name, when I'm done with school and later on. So I just kept throwing money there. Whenever I had like extra money that I wasn't using, I just put it there, and it really came in handy later on. So yes, it was for my 200 level, and I was glad I did at that point.
Yeah, in my head, I'm just already calculating how much like your portfolio right now.
Oh,
Because what your net worth? She started in school.
are not
Started in school. Ah, if people build Victoria wherever you see her, Victoria has money. She has money. You have money. Thank you very much for being open and sharing that stuff. So, people, you heard, and the beauty of Optimus the AfriVest app is that you actually can start with it. So now let's go to the reason why we are here. We've had lots of people since we launched mutual funds on our app ask us questions. Okay, guys, so what is mutual fund? How can I invest? It's sounding interesting. People. I think people just like when something is when it has mutual fund. It just has this very nice name that seems slick. Mutual fund, like just to fund your lifestyle. So many people seem very interested in it, and decided to have like a live session, taking the QRM frequently asked questions that people have asked. So, in your own word, how would you explain mutual funds?
Okay, so mutual funds are like pooled collection of assets that invest in different range of securities, right? And I think the most important take home from mutual fund is the fact that they are managed professionally. So the fact that they are managed professionally is a way to help investors get that diversified portfolio without having to invest in those individual assets. And there's one analogy that people use, and I think it's very correct. That's the pizza analogy, right? So you are investing in a mutual fund. It's like you're investing in, or you're trying to buy pizza. Every slice of a mutual fund will be the same as the other slice. It's very convenient. It's very affordable. You don't have to worry about, selecting or managing those individual companies in the portfolio. That's not your business. There's an investment professional there to handle all of that. So your time on trying to do due diligence on those companies, you allocate it to something else, because there's a portfolio manager that can do all of that. And the portfolio manager is there to assure that he's selecting the right ingredients and baking you that very perfect pizza, right? So all you have to do is to go with whatever preference you like, whatever pizza flavor that you prefer, right? You just go for it. So I think the analogy serves this purpose very well. So those are like the two major things from when you hear the word mutual fund. You know that the fund is professionally managed by investment professionals, and as an investor, it helps you get a more diversified portfolio.
All right, thank you very much. I also like the analogy, but I think earlier before you joined, I used the analogy of food. Well, I'm a foodie, Victor. I'm sure you know that. I use food. So I was giving an analogy of, so let's say for example, I'm hungry and I have just 2 5, and I go on Jumia Food, and what I really want is 2 pieces of chicken, a plate of rice, and one pet drink, right? But I'm seeing like it's about 3 5, and I cannot afford that. But I go to their menu again, and I'm seeing like there's something called a pot lover menu
Exactly.
that it's 10,000 naira, 8 pieces of chicken, 4 plates of rice, and 4 pet drinks. So I just need to get 3 of my friends to join money with me, and I get what I want. Do you get? So I call them. Then whoever, like, so they have 2 side dish. That's either 1 plate of moi, 1 plate of plantain. Then whoever decides to pay the delivery fee will get the side dish, because the person paid for more units than I did. Yes, exactly. So that's what. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. You see, just if you come and take me to your mutual funds department, I sabi this thing.
I agree with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the next question, and I really love the analogy that you gave, and I like that you emphasize the fact that professionals are helping you handle it, because these days we really don't have that time. It's almost like everyone needs more than 24 hours So
Fact.
struggling to, yeah. Yes, thank you. So can someone with low risk appetite actually invest in mutual funds?
Yes, yes. There are different kinds of mutual funds that serve investors based on their risk appetite, right? So
Mm.
if you have low risk, there's a kind of mutual fund that you should be putting your money in. For example, a money market mutual fund, right? Bond mutual fund. Those are mutual funds that are for low risk, medium risk kind of investors. Then if you have higher risk, then you can go for things like equity mutual funds and the likes. So yes, there are mutual funds that can serve your interest if you have low risk appetite.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. Thank you very much. So, think talking about the risk appetite, right? What happens? What happens to their fund? So, let's say that I don't have high risk, but let's say I have high risk. My appetite is high, like is high. Like my risk appetite is high, and the market falls midway. I'm gonna put in my money for mutual funds, one of those biannual ones that is long term, and then it falls like okay, there's a decline. What happens to their funds at that point in time?
Okay, so price fluctuation is a common occurrence in the market. It happens to investors, especially when investors are trying to take like long positions in the market, and it can even occur
Mm-hmm.
several times during the life cycle or the lifespan of that asset, right? So for us, we usually advise people to do this thing called averaging. You average down. It's not a good time to sell, right? Because everything is down doesn't mean it will always stay down. There's volatility in the market. Markets will keep going up and to come down at a point. It will go up at another point, right? So selling your position at
Mm-hmm.
a point might not be the best in your best interest. So most times we advise people to speak to your professional or the wealth advisor just to understand what is happening at that point. Except it's very important that you take out your funds, then it's quite understandable because different things happen and maybe it's just your last resort. But if it is not, right, then you can just average down your cost. You can buy more into the mutual fund and watch your money grow when market finally picks up.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. I really like that because many times those people see is a decline. Don't want to pick up their money like, hey, let me not go and lose everything. That fear of there's just that fear that cripples people. And thank you. I really like that you explained this. So, people, you have heard Victoria. If you do not need to take out your money urgently, just leave it because prices are usually volatile and it would definitely increase. It will definitely come back so that you don't shoot yourself on the foot. Thank you. So, you know that we recently launched the mutual funds investment on the Optimus by Afrivest app. Do you mind explaining the types of mutual funds that we have there? Because this is one common question that we have. Okay, what's the difference between A and B? What do we have to do with A? People really are interested in this, and it would be great if you can answer them.
Okay, so currently we have four mutual funds listed on the Optimus by AfriInvest app. We have the AfriInvest Bluetooth Fund, which is like our money market fund. We have the Nigerian International Debt Fund, that's NIDF, which is our in-house bond fund. Then we have the AfriInvest Dollar Fund and AfriInvest Equity Fund. The AfriInvest Bluetooth Fund, which is our money market fund, is for buying securities, high quality short-term securities like treasury bills, commercial papers, fixed deposits that are rated triple B and above. So the fund is there to offer you safety for your capital and streams of quarterly returns. That's Bluetooth fund, money market fund. Now for NIDF, as I mentioned, that is like our bond fund. So it's largely in domestic bonds markets while also having other naira denominated fixed income securities, right? So it's for people that have between low to medium risks, and as well as if you have relatively patient capital. For ADF, that's the AfriInvest Dollar Fund. It invests in dollar denominated securities that are issued by the Nigerian government or corporate entities in Nigeria, right? And for AEF, which is our equities fund, we invest in shares of companies that are listed on the Nigerian Exchange Group, that's NGX. And the fund just tracks equities that have strong fundamentals and that have strong track record. So these are the four mutual funds that we currently have listed on Optimus by AfriInvest app.
Thank you very much. So, honest question: do you have a favorite?
Do I have? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Do you have a favorite like amongst? Do you have a favorite like amongst the what types you listed? What's your favorite?
Oh,
Do you have any favor? You're just going to play it cool.
am I allowed to say I have a favorite? Honestly, all of them.
Well,
I like all of the mutual funds.
wow.
they all have different, and I like to say I want to have accounts in every part of it. Pluto's fund is like money market fund. Sometimes I would like to say I like to put emergency funds there. It's like a go-to place because
Mm-hmm.
of capital, and I get that quarterly return. That's dividend, right? For bonds, that's for the NIDF fund. It's for when I don't need the money, like patient capital. I put it in ADF. Of course, we know the Naira dollar issues and all of that. So when you have this small dollars coming in, I like to put them in ADF. Then, of course, equities markets. I don't want to have to go through the fundamentals of every company. So AEF comes in very handy there. So you see why I say I'm tired. I don't even know if I would say, if I would say I have a favorite. So for now, I like four of them.
Such diplomacy. I love that. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Next question is, I think you've already answered that. How to differentiate which mutual fund is right for you for investment. You've explained the different types and then the risk level. So I think it was really just dependent on their risk level and what they want, right, Victoria?
Exactly. That speaks to it.
Thank you. I know that you said that professionals handle this. However, is there a need for someone to understand the stock, bond, money market before they invest? Or should they just go blindly trusting that, okay, these professionals will handle? Do they really need to do any research? Are there questions that they need to ask? Are there things that they need to look out for? Right, not just on Optimus or Affiliates, but like generally, right? Before anyone invests in mutual funds, are there certain questions that they need to ask to understand better? Or do they just put in their money and trust that all will be well and fine?
Okay, so understanding stocks, bonds, money market is not a requirement to invest, but it's an added advantage to making sound investment decisions, right? Or you have investment professionals that can help you make those sound investment decisions regardless of your finance expertise. But knowing it is, is good for you as an investor. But even if you do not know it, we have investment professionals that can help you, navigate through the waters of investment.
Thank you very much. I like that. So, to reiterate what she said it's not a must-have requirement, but it will be great because it will also help you,
Yeah.
right? No knowledge is a waste. Thank you very much. So, can I invest in mutual funds for my kid? Because these days I used to hear people Victoria say trust fund kid, trust fund kid. Now I want to I want my kids to be trust fund kid. So is it too unrealistic to start saving for them from now, or do I have to wait till they give birth? Like, would there be difficulties in change of name? How do I do it? Because I don't have kids right now. Or for even people that have kids, how do they do it? Do they have to create it in their children's name, their name? Like all this, like what are the modalities around this? Because really, I really want my children to be trust fund kids. I want them to.
Okay. So yes, you can invest in mutual funds for your children. If you have a child and you want to open a mutual fund account for them here at AfroInvest, all you have to do is when you're doing the account opening, you use the child's name, pictures and everything. Just put in the entire details and we'll be holding it for your child. It's as simple as that. You don't need anything extra, right? The child has
Okay,
it.
but for us that are not even married, not talk of having kids, what do we do? We just want to start saving like ahead for our kids. What do we do?
Or just continue investing in your name until your child comes. Then you can now switch over
If we forget like this,
for your child.
are we not going to just forget that this was meant to be for the kids?
Don't do that.
All right, thank you very much. What are some mistakes you would say that people make when investing in mutual funds, and then you want them to watch out for these mistakes? Like, what are frequent mistakes rather that you've seen people make over time when investing in mutual funds, and you want to throw some light to it?
Okay, so a quick one that comes to mind would be people that chase aggressive and unrealistic performance for mutual funds. So mutual funds have benchmarks, right? So benchmark basically just means that whatever you do, this is what you should be looking at, your performance and this performance. That's what you should be looking vis-a-vis, right? But some people just come and they want something that is not possible. For example, imagine someone coming to you. Your benchmark let's say money market fund. Money market fund benchmark is 91 days treasury bills, right? And someone is coming to you, the 91 days
Mhm.
treasury bill is like at 8%, and the money market fund itself is somewhere around 11%, and the investor wants something around 25%. You can see how unrealistic the return is, right? So I've seen people
Yes.
make that kind of mistake, coming to you, asking you for some returns that you cannot get, except you want to Ponzi. It's not
Rub
possible.
the bank.
People do that a lot. And another common mistake people make is they ignore their risk appetite. It's very important for you to know your risk appetite to help you invest in the right mutual fund, right? So knowing your risk appetite will help you. For example, if you are someone that you want your capital preserved, you don't want to hear that today the price of the mutual fund is, say, 90, tomorrow is 80, next tomorrow is 60. Your heart to be shaking. That kind of person should not have anything to do with, say, an equities fund, because the risk profile for equity is high. So you should be putting your money in, let's say, the money market fund or the bond fund, right? Something like that. So understanding your risk profile is also
Which
very
type
important.
is the money markets and the bonds? Can we like state that so that people here that have low risks will just go to look for it?
So I didn't get that.
I said on Optimus by Afrivest app, can you help state the ones that contain the money markets?
Okay. So
And yes.
okay, so on the Optimus app, the Plutus fund, which is the money market fund, is for those that have
Mhm.
risk. NIDF,
Okay.
which is our bond fund, is
Mhm.
those that have between low to medium risk. ADF, which is our
Mm.
Afrinvest dollar fund, is for people that have medium risk, and AEF, which is Afrinvest equity fund, for investors that have high risk.
Families.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. You guys have heard. And then one thing we always say is know your risk appetite. So you don't obtain blood pressure in trying to actually create wealth. It's not necessary, it's not needed. Thank you so much, Victoria. We have like two more questions before we wrap up. I think I'm having a good time. You guys having a good time too. Victoria is really enlightening us. After now, I feel like all of you here on this live should just gonna do webinar how to invest in mutual funds, because here too we've been well. Victoria is feeding us well. All right, thank you so much. Is there provision for an advisory to contact regarding mutual funds? Like, so if they have more questions, is there like free advisory, or is it paid? How do they go about it? Because sometimes people just want to talk to a human first before they even start hearing anything.
Okay. So yes, you can reach out to, or you can send an email to aml@afrinvest.com, and we'll answer any questions you have.
Question.
aml@afrinvest.com.
All right. So one common question we also get is what's the interest? And then we try to tell people that mutual funds there are no fixed interest, but we love that you throw more light to that. We just have the sell price and the buy price, but I think many Nigerians or many people in general just used to. I just want to know the fixed interest that I will get. Let me calculate my money. So yes, please can you throw more light to that? Because if we have $1 for every time this question is asked, wow! I mean, that refinery that was built is made out of building. I mean,
You have actually asked the question. The market is going up and down. We are investing in the market. There's
yeah.
interest. I cannot come and say there's a fixed interest, but we pay out dividend, right, for some of the mutual funds that we have. For example, the African Institute Fund, which is money market fund, pays out dividend, call it dividend, which is like your interest, pays out quarterly, right? While the NIDF, which is our bond fund, and ADF, which is our dollar fund, right, pays dividend semi-annually. So those are the only thing I can beat my chest and tell you. Every quarter you will get your dividend from Pluto's fund, right? Or semi-annually, you get your dividend from ADF or from NIDF. So those are guaranteed. You always get them at the stated period.
Okay. All right. Thank you. But then others that are not guaranteed is whenever the money comes, right?
You know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That. So is there interest credited to their wallet or is it being invested? And would you advise people to rather take their interest, right? Or they just reinvest it?
Okay, I know on the app you can actually opt for your interest to be invested, but
Yes.
otherwise credited directly to the investor's wallet, except you opt for the
Yes.
option for your dividend or for your interest to be, reinvested.
Yes, yes, you are right. However, would you advise people to always just reinvest or sometimes take out money to enjoy themselves, Because this life is one. This life is
Honestly,
one.
well, I would tell people to just reinvest the money. You want it to grow, just
So at
reinvest
what
the
point do we now enjoy, Victoria? At what point do we now enjoy this interest that we keep reinvesting?
you said you wanted to do trust fund for your child now. Abi,
Yes.
I'm actually to help you
But I'm
here.
also someone's child though. I'm
Hey,
also
hey,
someone's
I agree. Yes, you can enjoy your life, but if you can, please reinvest your interest.
Yeah, invest in interest. Then you'll be able to get more units without having to actually now even bring more money to buy. Thank you so much, Victoria. I totally enjoyed myself, and I think we've come to a close. Does anyone have questions? You have questions for Victoria? Oh yeah, I forgot. Victoria, please, you didn't introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
Now I'm shy.
You can't be shy. Enough that this knowledge you've blessed us with. What people pay for, you give us for free.
Hey, okay. So my name is Victoria Manze. I work as a senior fund analyst at Afroinvest Asset Management Limited. So I think that's all the
And
introduction.
I need to emphasize that senior fund analyst is senior, guys, senior fund
Oh
analyst. So
God.
she she's a boss in the game. So everything she has said, you can take it to the bank, and you are sure that it is not one of those. Victor, I think that these days we have so many people that are just coming on board to just claim the tag. Oh, I'm an investment specialist. Do
Yeah.
you understand? So it's important that we explain as well because I think like these days everyone and it's common amongst young people because you just see the whole. I mean, I first went 1 million before I clocked 20. Let me teach you how you will not see. So it's important that the introduction was made just so that they know that yes, you're highly qualified to do this. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We really appreciate this. If there are no questions in the next 2 minutes, I think we can call it a day. Victor, I hope you had fun too.
I did. I did. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, no questions. We'll just spin this. However, she has given us the email address. So if you have more questions, you can just send them an email, or you can also send to support@optimus.ng. Right. Regardless, we'll just connect you to the right person to speak with. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, people.
Bye.
Bye, Victoria. Thank you.